So Trump is making new friends
and new enemies.
That's the subject of today's video. So who's our new friends these days?
New friend, definitely Russia.
Yeah, and then we got another one that was just announced literally minutes ago. And who's that?
Who's that?
It's North Korea.
No,
What's that?
North Korea is not new friend. They're already besties.
Oh, that's right, right. Trump, actually, Trump and Kim Jong-un, I think they met like 3 times or something.
Yeah, and you know, I think he's really admire, you know, dictators.
Yep.
You know, he always say we are having really good relationship. You know, he called them like now like nuclear nation.
I think it was like a big nuclear nation.
Yeah, big nuclear nation.
And then after Trump left, they discovered, this is serious, like some sort of like weird love letters between the two. Yeah, true story. So that's what we have to talk about is basically a realignment of our friends and allies. Also, yesterday it was a big announcement. China, Japan, and Korea. Yeah, what are they doing?
They hold each other hand.
Yeah, they actually did a like this kind of like like a triple handshake kind of thing. So imagine someone's right there, right?
Maybe you not know the Korea, China, Japan. We never not never, but it's really rare just sit on the same table and shake hand and smile. It's very rare. So it's just kind of funny that one of our news headline is here, Trump did the hard part.
Right. You know, it's like in English we kind of say, what is it? Enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. You know, if like, well,
it just happened.
Yeah, so like we all hate Trump, so it's kind of unifying the world to everyone hate Trump. Now, I want to go into this one because it's complicated relationship with any of these kind of stuff. It seems like China, Japan, and Korea may have some sort of trade thing that they want to set up, right? What was specifically mentioned, this will be a big thorny part in U.S. Relations with all of the countries, is I think they want to integrate chip making with China.
Semiconducting.
Yeah. And so the U.S. point of view is like they've been trying to cut off chips to China, which I completely understand. Like, so, you know, the question would be, do you want chips to go into making Chinese military weapons and, you know, things of that nature? So what is that going to do to U.S.-Japan and U.S.-Korea relationships if suddenly Korea and Japan are helping China to, frankly, build up their military, and not just the military.
I think it just started. We just, you know, shake hands with China and Japan, but we can shake hands with European country too.
Yeah.
It just started.
Oh yeah. I mean, basically, what you're looking at is the USA is just pushing out, you know, all of the reliable friends, I would say, and going for new friends that are completely untrustworthy and unreliable. I mean, I wouldn't trust, say, Russia or North Korea. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just Trump just really, you know, admire those kind of people.
Right. The other thing that's going on is Trump is now having his tariff stuff. And he's calling it Liberation Day when the tariffs start. Yeah, so I think he's going to liberate you from your friends, so no more friends. I mean, who needs friends?
Yeah.
He's going to liberate you from your money, right? Because, you know, who needs money? Just give it all to Trump and Musk, and then liberate you from your home. Let's all be homeless. And I know we're making jokes about this stuff, but
yeah, it's very serious.
I just, if you would have told me, you know, years ago, is like the USA is going to go off and do its own thing, and all the other countries are going to form, I mean, I'd call you crazy. Now, to be fair, though, it wasn't hard to see. Like, we've been talking about this for a long time, how Trump admires dictators, and he kind of is an odd guy, and it's hard to believe kind of thing, like when we joke about it, because like literally on Saturday Night Live, we make jokes with, you know, Putin and Kim Jong-un controlling Trump, that kind of stuff. But it's actually not funny when you see it. Now, from the point of view over here, is because Yeji was mentioning it, we were talking about it. Let's say theoretically we make an alliance in Asia and we just stop building military weapons altogether. I mean, that's a possibility.
But actually, you know,
why not?
Developing our weapon technology because of USA.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
Not sure, but I think they signed something. You cannot, you know, build your technology of weapons.
Yeah, so like if the South Korea wanted to have nuclear weapons, basically,
yeah.
or even nuclear power.
Or a rocket. That's why
Right.
we are kind of late for that.
Right.
So if we are free liberation of that
Right.
contract, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, and that'll complicate things between like, so what if North Korea has some sort of deal with China and they're like, well, why are you letting the South Koreans now get, nuclear weapons and stronger military? So I just want you to understand like the complicated politics with this stuff. Historically speaking as well, there's long grievances because Korea and Japan, they basically, Korea was a colony of Japan in World War II.
And we don't like Japan for a long time, and China same.
Yeah, so China's always tried to exert influence and take over the region essentially, and then Japan has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Korea's been kind of in the middle of the two bigger powers, but these days, in this day and age, I would say Korea's
It's big too. We are also big.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
all
absolutely.
Three big Asia countries, they're holding each other. Right
Yeah, and the Korean movies, TV shows, music and stuff is very, very popular both in Japan and China. I mention it because it matters because like when China, turns on TVs and they watch a bunch of Koreans eating chicken, drinking beer, like Chinese people come to Korea, they have tourism and they use the doctors. Like what I'm saying is there's no like anger against Koreans. Chinese don't like hate Koreans. Koreans, what's that?
But when they does, they just do it really, like strongly. Their country shut down.
Right. So there was, you can bring it up.
China tried to shut down some culture, some country.
Right.
They just do it right away.
Yeah, and I can't remember, was that the missile thing? I think it might have been the missile thing. Because Jay, our friend in animation?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a time when he would just like, because we have a friend who makes animated movies, and basically he couldn't get his movie in the Chinese theaters because all Chinese.
When they boycott something, they just shut down.
Right and actually, speaking of politics, you're going to see a political truck go by us here. It's right there. Yeah, do you want to explain that real quick? Because it's kind of interesting if people don't know.
We're going to have revoting for I think that's the education department in Busan.
Right. Politics are a little bit different here than USA. Political advertising is only for a short period of time. I don't know, is it in this situation, how long is it? Maybe a week even?
Yeah, a week.
It's not very long. In the USA, I don't think we have any limits because you could make the case that that's free speech, and I can, in Elon's case, pay anyone that I want to advertise wherever I want. I mean, I'm against.
And give money.
Yeah, so I'm not endorsing that culture, but I'm saying in the U.S. sense, like the presidential campaign can start like 2 years ahead of time, and you just campaign whenever you want.
It's not like that.
Yeah, so we try to keep the political spending down by limiting when you can advertise politically. So I think that's always an interesting conversation. Many countries have this rule, actually. So right now there's like they're on street corners, they're driving cars and stuff like that, and we're voting education. And then Friday, what's going on Friday with you?
They're gonna the court decide that they're gonna impeach or not.
Is it impeached? No, we weren't impeached. I thought we impeached him. I thought it would be like prison or not. So he's not actually he's not officially impeached.
No.
Because we arrested the guy.
No.
Okay. So then you would impeach, and after that would come whether or not he goes to prison.
People are complaining that it's too late. It's over 100 days right now. It's way more than that.
Yeah, I'm happy we arrested the guy. I'm happy that they stopped him from the martial law. We'll see how it turns out. We'll find out Friday. But yeah, I understand. If, like the longer it goes, you could argue that's in favor of Yoon, maybe. But we'll see.
Plus, we even if it's good and bad, we need our leader. That leader, who country needs a president.
Oh, okay. That's the argument that Yoon people would make. I get that argument, right? Like we're without a president. What are you doing? What's the holdup?
People, both sides can, just impeach right now, and
Yeah, me personally, I would just remove the guy, have a new election or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they'll do that like in France or Britain or Germany.
We did that too.
Yeah, they just why not? Because it's not so strange. So like in the USA, because election season is so long, it would be weird for Americans to like just, hey, we're gonna have an election in a month. Like that's kind of a strange thing. Whereas in other countries, it's just a much shorter period. The other thing too I want to mention with you guys with this stuff is that Trump is sort of basically sending us off a cliff economy-wise. So Goldman Sachs, they just predicted 35% chance of recession this year. That's up from 20% chance. A lot of people, though, say it's already here. So I don't know if Koreans are talking this way, that the economy is completely crashed or
Yeah.
gonna crash, or
I don't know. It's every the specialists say slightly different, but we are crash. No, no, we are somewhere crashing. We are
so
starting and peak and
so feel like it definitely feels like in the downward cycle.
yeah.
No one's saying we're growing.
No.
I see. I see.
No.
Yeah, so because sometimes people like ask about what's going on in Korea. I would say the big problems here: housing costs are too high. People aren't having enough kids.
Yeah.
Too many old people, however you want to say it. You know, people live
We are
longer.
the
Um,
oldest the how can I say?
What's that? The oldest
Like,
country, you can say that.
oldest country which became the fastest.
Oh, we're aging. Maybe you could say that, or we're getting older faster, or suddenly we got really old fast.
Yeah.
Older faster.
Faster.
I think.
Became old country very fast.
I see, because there's way more old people than young people. Well, the generation. So, for example, the generation above Yeji, I think your mom has like 4 or 5 brothers. I think, or
3 brothers.
okay, so there'd be 4 kids altogether. Then your dad's family has like 6 kids, yeah. Whereas like Yeji has 1 sister, right? And then among kind of our age group, only one of the kids has kids right now.
If you married.
Oh, right. And then there's her cousins, right? Should be again our age group. 2, 3 aren't married.
This article is
And this is like
40,
yeah.
over 40 now 41 years old people. Only half is married.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that people don't know is actually the Wall Street Journal even wrote about it also, but we know about it because we live here. The government will offer incentives to people to get married, actually. And it even cited, meaning it mentioned Busan as an example. So like they'll do stuff like help you with down payment, help you with like childcare, encourage you to have kids, like tax benefits, these kind of things. These are the kind of things that the government is like focused on. Is there any of the issues that I guess what to do with real estate tax, right? I know I've read about this is where essentially we have too many like landowners that own too much property. So you want to open up the market to younger people, right? So you have to set your housing policy to, you know what I'm talking about.
With Korea?
Yeah. Because you have to set.
Now it's because the tax is the changing is how to say.
What's that?
The legacy tax.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. But we're talking. Well, legacy would be because she's talking about passing from
your
parents to the kids. Yeah. I was talking about also like taxing on whether or not people have multiple homes and handle that kind of stuff. That's an older issue?
That's old issue.
So don't listen to me then, right?
This new tax changing is your legacy tax.
Because I guess that would represent then there's an elderly group of people and now they need to hand down all that property, right?
Now it's now the average home price is cheaper in Seoul.
It's like $1 million, something like that.
The average, but they made the law like 30 years ago, so it was very low. But this is regular people, owns the Shiba cows, and when they die, your kids has to sell those because they have to pay tax in 3 months.
Oh, okay. The way the tax system's set up is when you get the house, you have to pay too much tax.
Yeah.
And so you can't afford it. You have to dump it. That makes sense. Well, these are complicated issues because in a place like Korea, and this could be anywhere in the world, there's only like a few really select real estate locations that people want, right? They try to build other developments in other cities, but they're not really that. Yeah, no one moves there. Just no one really likes it, And then there's a similar thing in China. And that's where the bubble popped, is where, because real estate only goes up in Beijing and only goes up in Shanghai and like should go up everywhere, right? What's that?
If I want to live in LA, like
oh sure,
yeah,
Beverly Hills,
like Silver Lake, right?
Malibu.
Yeah, Malibu, but those are mansions. I'm talking just regular people's.
Oh, yeah, like Echo Park, Silver Lake, like this.
The Silver Lake, those kind of areas.
Yeah, but those places aren't even really that cheap anymore. I mean, like for those of you familiar.
Richmond area,
Yeah, I was gonna say for people familiar in LA, basically like the further you away go from the ocean, the cheaper it gets. So like the joke is like, wow, even Arcadia is really expensive. So that'd be like,
Burbank is expensive.
Yeah. Like the further you go away, because it's like basically you're just saying, wow, even 2 hours away from the ocean is expensive. And then even if you go all the way to the Riverside area, if you guys are familiar with LA, that was like one of the bubbles in the USA because there were certain areas that were really really cheap, and then during COVID, kind of people moved out from the city, and then they just got it was like, and then Idaho, which is really far from the ocean as well. And we get off on a tangent. The point I'm trying to make though is that in Korea, though, there's certain areas where the real estate is like really strong, and there's always a fight for that. So, in defense of that particular policy of like, why would you make it harder for people to pass on property? Well, then you give other people a chance to
So
get
actually,
said thing. What's that?
recently, the government did a really weird, made a they before like Gangnam area, they're kind of, you say, tied. You can really sell and buy.
Oh, can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
you cannot sell
Okay.
and buy easily.
Uh-huh.
But the Seoul said no, it's all free. You can sell and buy. They're
Oh, like
freely.
they removed the fees and stuff.
Yeah, the law.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The law, but right after that, the house price was going high again, really going high everywhere. So they a week later, something like that, not even a week, they said no, we're gonna tie it again.
I see. They changed the policy too rapidly. Yeah. Our system here is really different. So basically, the property tax is very, very low in comparison to the USA, but the transaction fees, the closing costs, if you want to call it in USA, the tax to buy and sell is much, much higher, or the real estate agent fees can be very, very high as well. You're looking at fees in some cases, I think it's as high as 11% for the highest. So in USA, you might maybe look like 3 to 5-ish kind of. It's a lot less. But property taxes are higher in USA.
I see. Yeah.
So generally, it always costs money to live, right? So nothing's ever going to be cheap. Anyway, just wanted to give you guys some perspective of what's going on here in Korea. We're also enjoying the Cherry Blossom Festival. We say sakura in Japan, popko in Korea. I like to say sakura. I think it sounds more funny. Okay. She says popcorn, I say sakura. So anyway, we'll catch you guys next time. So bye.